Hello everyone. How you doing? Another live. I cannot believe that we're only 1 week away to be done, and for me to have a month of vacation and the lovely team too. How you doing, everyone? Again, this week is going to be different scenarios every day that happen when you work beside doing the lives. So today is one of the days that when I propose the topic, Elba says, yes, I want to know more because I did a lot in corporate setting, what we can learn from animals, but I don't talk a lot about the team. And even though after 8 years that we are together, sometimes I'm thinking like, Susan, like, I don't know, I forgot. I do so many things, so much shit. So you can see it's snowing, it's really snowing. It's that one of those winters. So we're going to talk about animal behavior because if we pay a little more attention to nature and how animals are strategically aligned, actually we can adapt to the boardroom, and family gatherings. One of the things that we didn't talk here, because there are many animals that we can learn from the snakes to worms to anything that you can imagine, is cats. It would be so easy to talk about cats. Why? Because I have six. So we choose not to talk about cats. But it's only one thing that I want you to pay attention about cats. If you have ever been around them or you are having cats in your house, you're going to realize the cats never meow to another cat the same way they meow to humans. And actually, if you pay attention, I was talking with someone that this week, she's a former FBI behavior interrogator. And guess what? When I tell her, she's like, I never realized, but it makes all the sense. Cats meow with the same tone than a baby cry. So the next time you see a cat, you're going to realize that get attention from you mimicking the sound and the tone of their own voice as the tone of equal to what is a baby. They're extremely more intelligent and more manipulative than you can expect they are. They get us on the pocket. So let's talk about the presentation today. And again, I've been complaining that you don't introduce yourself, Susan. Like, if you're here, I guess you know who I am. My name is Susan Ivitz, behavior neuroscience. I'm a strategic consultant. Oh, like most people know me, human behavior hackers, and people hack computers. I hack humans. I have 5 companies, the ones who are related to this. Actually, three are related to that are school. Susan Ivitz Behavior Consulting that you can see on the scroll that is about consulting, and Human Behavior Lab when we do research for companies, and we have a lot of fun because we have the chance to apply all this witchcraft and playing with data. That is what get me excited in the morning. 7 behaviors we can learn from animals. How nature teach us the social skill humans forget. Do you know that animals have soft skills? And actually, from the 18 social skills and soft skills or people skills that we taught, we assign each skill to a different animal. That's the reason we teach in a different way. What makes us different as a company, as a coaches, everybody in the team, is that we grab things that you see every day. We grab complex things and we make it simple and easy to choose. Chew and choose. Why? Because confused mind don't make decisions. When people talk too complicated and go to like, oh yeah, I want to be the best expert, I want to be the most complicated in the room, people don't understand. And like, oh yeah, 8 hours, oh, he or she is famous, but I didn't get a shit what the person is explaining. Animals don't overthink. That sounds familiar. They behave with purpose. Everything have purpose. Do you know the only animal who kill by fan or for fan are humans? Animals only hunt and kill when they need to eat. We are not, as humans, do that. Wolf. When I ask men, usually human, in general human, to be fair, what animal represent you? We do this. Okay, I'm gonna take so you don't get distracted with the information because people say, Susan, don't talk when you have the slides because I get distracted and I try to read. Hi Elva. By the way, Ella was supposed to be here today and says, no, Susan, you do it. I'm going to participate tomorrow. We're talking about micro expressions. Yeah, now she gives me orders. That's what she does. So what we do when somebody start or is interviewing on the company says, what animal represent you? What animal do you feel that you are? The majority of men says lions. And that one says, I don't think you're going to be working for us. We don't like lions. We are wolf. And I just say it. So I guess I'm going to need to be asking another question. Wolf are the one who represent us. And now you're going to understand why we are wolf and not lions in this company. So let's start with the favorite. Leader, trust, clear role. Strong teams need clarity, trust, and alignment responsibility, not noise. What happened with Wolf? They attack in pack. They are determined who's the leader and who's the weakest. They trust the roles that every part need to have. They align themselves. They communicate by voicing the tone of the voice the wolves use. I don't want to be imitating voices. I don't have a voice for radio. That's the reason I do everything with a special mic. So I'm not going to do that to you. But they express the tone of voice. They use body language. They are strategic in the way they attack. I would say after this show, try to go to the Animal Channel. It's one of the channels that I never cancel because I can spend hours and hours seeing how a small wolf can attack and diminish a big animals. Why? Because they use a strategy. So they attack in a triangle way. So the weak one go how the triangle will work. So you have a triangle. It's not because they're walk all together on a triangle. It's because they send someone to test the water to determine if is any predatory animal against them waiting for them. So they send one person, and that I'm sorry, no one person, one wolf to test the environment. And sometimes they send a wolf that is going to be attacked and even sometimes kill in order to determine where are the enemies and what enemies we have. Those are tactics that are used on military. If you ever saw the movie 300, you're going to understand that is the strategic the wolf use when they need to attack or they need to work. Why we need to understand how animals work and what is the dynamic they have and the corporate setting, because animal trust and other animals more than human trust between among them. And I don't blame you for it. Most of the time is because you has been taught to not to trust. Coyotes, bold when needed, flexible under pressure, strategic cooperation. At that fast, read the room. I have coyotes where I live. So I have coyotes, I have raccoons, I have deers, I have fox, I have black snakes, garden snakes, and I have cats, feral cats and home cats. And actually, some people says there have been seen bears. I know. Oh, we have killing turkeys, like the huge wild turkeys. No more mean animal than a wild turkey. Actually, I'm waiting for Thanksgiving to see somebody gonna get one of those turkeys. I need to have a baseball bat in my car to get out of my car because they have punch legs, and where I live is horrible. So one night, Elva and I, we were talking during the pandemic. We used to meet 10 p.m. and talking until 6 o'clock in the morning, having fun doing this. And one night around midnight, I hear a noise. One of the baby raccoons were attacked by a coyote. I was sure. So I put a flashlight on the top of my head and I went out with a baseball bat. And Ella says, don't do it. When I went out, one coyote have the mother of the mother raccoon with the babies on a corner. So I tried to soothe the coyote. When I left my head, I saw around 12 pair of eyes looking at me. And I says, either I play crazy or I'm dinner. So I managed to put back the raccoons under my sunroom where they're protected. The sun reason the mama raccoon decide to leave, or maybe they were coming from the tree and the coyotes see it. But that get me aware. The coyotes never attack alone. They look like a dog and they function like a dog. And I made a mistake at some point when I moved to the forest, thinking that a baby coyote was a wild dog and I was feeding him a long time ago. And now she came back and ended up being a she. Every time that she have a baby, obviously I don't feed it anymore because I cannot have it among the cats. But they can be really passive with this telling. That coyote was intelligent enough to decide to be pseudo domesticated or make me think that he is domesticated. Now, he was trying to get under my sunroom where all the animals are kept during the winter for the cold. I keep heating lamps under my sunroom so all the animals are kept heated during the winter. Now he was trying to get there. Coyotes are extremely intelligent, and when you have chicken cooks, cooks that the special prep to keep the chicken, coyotes know how to get away. They, even though if you put the wire, chicken wire, really, really, really deep, they know how to excavate, get the chickens and come back. If you see how the disaster they do it in farms and says how they figure out their extremely strategic operation, they decide where to go. Long story short, I'm here, I have all my limbs, but it was really difficult because I needed to play crazy and I need to play all over the place in order for the coyotes not to attack me. But they never, yeah, you remember. I know you remember. We were on the phone, and when I come back, says, Susan, what the heck? Like, there were a bunch of coyotes. What am I going to do? Let my raccoons die? No. At the next day, I says, what the heck I was thinking. So, and that fast and read the room. They have a specific body language. When he saw me, then I was playing crazy. He looked back, he looked at the other coyotes and leaned back like I didn't know if he want to attack me or want me to pet him, but definitely want to play with me. Extremely well manipulators. Spotted hyenas. Social intelligence. They have soft skills. Alliances read the group. Success depends on how you navigate people, not just the task. It's not what you're saying, it's how you say it. It's not the team you have, it's the opportunity and the place you put your team to work with. One of the first things when people call us and say, like, yeah, when I need to fire all my team and replace them, like, do you need to fire the team or you need to fire yourself as a manager? Why? Have you talked to your team to find out if your team is at the right place they need to be? Sometimes people don't have the opportunity because they're afraid to say it, is because other people took that position. There are many ways, but not always. The people need to be fired, just need to be put on the right place. When I say social intelligence, they know how to deal with other species. And one of the animals that you're going to see all the time in Animal Planet is hyenas and how they attack. So hyenas never attack to the body of the zebra, for example. They cut the legs. They try to cut the tendon that allow them to run so fast. Actually, the hyenas are extremely fast. There is this actor, he's African-American, short. He wasn't allowed to do the Oscar because somebody complained that he says something stupid on Twitter when Instagram 20 years ago, and they prohibited to do something stupid. He's an amazing comedian. He says he was in Africa and he did something to ostrich, and the ostrich was following and running, and the ostrich, oh God, that's the reason I cannot pronounce it, was running straight, and with the head turned around looking at them like, I'm gonna catch you. Those animals, the ostrich and the hyenas, are the faster on the jungle, are the fastest you can go if you go to a safari. I have a friend who went on a honeymoon to the safari, and she's like, when you see how they act, when they see how they align to work, it's amazing. You're gonna see the hyenas, how separate the weak one from the tribe, because they know the animals they're hunting, they're gonna naturally leave behind. the one that is weaker, sicker, or older. The hyenas never attack an individual. They always attack a group of animals. So the other animals naturally gonna discard the one they don't want or they don't need or it's too much weight, and it's gonna make them behind and it's gonna hold their weight. That's how intelligent, that's how amazing animals are, and how much we need to learn from them. And they have a hierarchy on the group too. So as you can see in the beginning, we put the canines. They had a lot to do with your dog. It's not so different. It's a mix of all of them. But the hyena is, to me, the most resilient, is the most amazing about intelligent. Wolf is about the strategic and the magnificent, the beauty of the wolf is almost like hypnotized. And talking about hypnotized, guess who we're gonna have? Christina Lennon, the one who went to Brittany Got Talent and hypnotized Simon Cowell, and Drew Barrymore live. We're gonna have Christina, and we're gonna talk about the myth and how hypnosis work and the behavior and how good or bad can be hypnosis if you are on the wrong hands. Because now a lot of people is using hypnosis to regression and eye movement, and they're making a mess. And I'm going to talk about it. I read a lot, study a lot, but I'm not an expert like Christina. So I don't know if we're going to have it on Friday or Monday. We're still talking with Christina to her calendar because she's in London and remodeling her house. You want to know more? You want to bring us to your team? You want to learn how to apply these? You want to make a complete class and how animals and human. It's a really funny class because we should make people to choose what animal they want to be. So we have around 14 to 16 animals. My cable is killing me. So we have 14 to 15 animals, and we ask people to find out, to determine what animal they want to be. We explain how animals work, and naturally people choose the animals. Is amazing. So if you want us to bring that to your team or any of the topic that we have been talking this week, connect with me on LinkedIn. I reply and check all my messages. Natural solve problems with behavior. Yes, they use behavior, a human behavior similar to, but use animal behavior. Chameleon. Okay, if I need to ask you what is the one of the best characteristic of the chameleon, it's not here. Is to mimic absolutely every color that is on the environment. The chameleon is like a mirror. So when we're talking about the mirror effect, as human, we don't change color, but we change our body and we mimic the environment. That is one of the skills that I says we need to learn from the chameleons, how they can match their own environment and then become one. They have emotional awareness, change with the context, read subtle cues. Chameleon not only can read your body and mimic your body, the cues that you have in the face. Actually, there are other animals they can mimic. If you go to any media, you're going to find out that a lot of people are putting videos about cases where the police was called because a parrot find out a way to get attention. Like, don't kill me, call the police. And people call the police. And the guy's like, okay, can you go inside the house and the second room and see my parrot? And like, what the heck? Nothing to do with, nobody to arrest because it's a parrot. But animals know how to mimic and how to get attention. Social skill, knowing how to show up depending on the room. We talked before about body language and body language between women and men. Last night, I was having a late night with one of my clients. They landed 10:30. And he says, explain why men and women think differently. Like, we have all night. And the woman, the lawyer, was fascinated that when I explained women use 14 to 16 part of the brain to make a decision, when a man use 4 to 6. It's nothing wrong. Depending on the situation, the dependability of those actions is what is going to help or it's going to compromise a situation with reading the room and negotiation. But content and context. If somebody crossing their arms in a room that is cold is not close to your idea, to your situation, it's just call, and there are call. So this is one of the funny ones that won't come. Elephant. There's a remember when people says, "Oh, you have an elephant mind," you remember as elephant. Oh, you have a memory, elephant memory. That's what they used to tell. Teach thought example. Depend deep emotional bond. Result conflict with connection, and they have a really good memory. Actually, crows. Okay, I'm gonna need to change this. It's driving me crazy. Do you know crows? Crow, like the blackbird that you want to find, and the raven, they have memory for 17 to 20 years. First of all, I didn't know they live so long. So what happened with the crows is that if someone, any kind of person, did something to them, they can recognize you 20 years later. If you were a kid and you threw a rock to them, they have memory up to 20 years. For 20 years, if they found you, they're going to attack you. Now, they store that memory by smell, vision, or shape, and face structure. So, if for any reason a crow attack you, remember, you either piss them off, either you look like someone, or you smell like somebody who attacked them. Crows do not attack if they haven't been attacked before. And birds is one of the phobias people have. Remember the Alfred Hitchcock Bird, the movie? It was The Bird, something like that. Anyway, birds that attack you, it was crazy the year that movie went out because people start having phobias and more and more and more. They have emotional intelligence as a power skill. Elephants, when it's time to die, they move away from the crowd to not affect the dynamic of the family dynamic per se. The elephants retire to die by themselves, and they respect and they bow to the superiors, and they have emotional bonds. They says that they pair with their family, and they tend to walk and move on clans. Clans is when you have the family clan and that clan move. So when some of the baby elephants become paired with someone matching a mate, that clan start growing per se in group. They use something called in group. They move on that clan all together. I used to do what do you call? It wasn't an internship; it was an experiment. So the Chicago Zoo was doing this. I think it's still doing the behavioral program. So once a week, what you do is you go to the zoo and you observe the animal behavior. How you do that? Saturdays, I used to go 6 o'clock in the morning and observe all the animals. Every time they click, they move, they blink. And 8 o'clock in the morning, when the zoo open, if you haven't froze to death doing this, what happened is you need to start observing the behavior of all the animals, and you get until noon, they feed you and come back home, they don't pay you. Slowly, I was getting my hands on working with the people on the chimpanzee program, because you're not supposed to be allowed to that. I hope I don't get you in trouble, guys. And they allow me to work with them after I did my shift and how chimpanzees and monkeys work. Three things that I found fascinating about power and control. A, you know when a monkey or chimpanzee on that category is going to step out to be the leader because the testosterone low. Remember we talked about testosterone and aggression this week? So the testosterone low. Now, we can determine who's going to be the new leader because the testosterone rise. And by the smell of the hormones, the other people bow to them. Another thing, the neuroneurons that the chimpanzees and monkeys have is amazing. When you go to the zoo, sometime I will asking women like, can you show your baby to the chimpanzees, ma'am? No, I'm afraid like they're not going to break the glass. It's safe. They can support tons of water and tons of pressure. So when somebody, a male, grab the baby and raise it, the male tend to go grab the baby, raise it, and show it. So they're mirroring. And Coco the gorilla, you see, Elva, for not being here, you missed the Coco the gorilla. We couldn't talk about. Coco the gorilla was taught how to talk with signs. But some people is this divulge as is not true. The gorilla was trained to what to say, not to think. I don't know. I don't know the experiments that much, but the point is, the gorilla start expressing his Coco started expressing her needs in that way. So what happened is they give her a kitty because they were playing with babies and says, "I want a baby." She couldn't have babies, so they were talking about motherhood, and she wanted a baby. So they give her this little cat. And one time, something happened with the cat, and the gorilla didn't have, Coco didn't have her way. Do you know what she did? Yes, I know it's a lot. You know what she did? She broke the vanity of the bathroom. And when they says who did it, not only she point, she says verbally, she blamed the cat. When they say animals are not intelligent, is because they haven't been around Coco the gorilla. Maybe we need to, maybe Ilva, we shouldn't have put it here. So if I'm not mistaken, this is the last one. Dragonfly. Lock in one target, ignore distraction, predict and move fast. Focus in your competitive advantage in a noisy world. When you says that you have problem or you multitask or get distracted or you have HDD, we should start getting dragonfly instruction. When they decide or they're being told to do something, there's nothing that can interrupt their pattern until from the end to the end, they keep going and going and going. And when they have a target in mind, they're extremely compulsive obsessive. I don't think it's OCD, but they're compulsive obsessive. I need to do that. I will not gonna get distracted, and I'm gonna predict everything that is gonna happen because I don't wanna gonna get caught on guard. They're extremely intelligent animals. It's something so much that we can learn. They don't care if it's another dragonfly. They don't care. Sometimes they commit what I call suicide by stupidity. Not because they're stupid. It's because they're so freaking committed to do what they need to do. They sometimes they don't pay attention, and there can be a victim, or they can be hurt, or they can end up in trouble for that reason. So let's see if we have any questions. I don't think so. And let's talk the last ones, if I'm not mistaken, are the ants. Some people from all the animal kingdom, one of the things that kids tend to love to have is an ant nest. Why? Everybody have a job. Communication is constant, care and responsibility. If you took the queen from the ant nest, the same way that like the bee, everybody's going to be following. They're super organized. When I was a kid, I don't do it anymore because I know how terrible it's for them and how disruptive. They make a path. Actually, they can carry, I didn't remember because I didn't reread it. I'm telling you what I know and I teach in the classes. I think it's 10 times their weight. They can carry miles, 10 times their weight to go in the nest. They prepare for winter. You can see them, for example, we have an early snow, and I did know that it's going to be a hard winter because the ants start working on the nest in August. Usually they don't start working until October. Guess what? At the beginning of November, we have the first harsh snow, and we have a really, really, really cold below zero winter in Chicago. How I knew that? Because the ants were working early. So they do the same path and they walk in and out, carrying 10 times the weight. So even if you grab the lead, and I hope kids are not seeing this so they don't do it, you grab the lead, the ant is not going to release the food. They carry that for 10 miles. They're not going to be released the food. So they put it in compartments. So by the time winter is come, they can feed themselves. Teamwork and decentralized leadership. Everybody have a job. Everybody pull their sleeves to work. Nobody's going to lose their rings because they need to do the job. Communication is constant. Every time there's something happen, if you disrupt the pattern of the work they have, the last ant that saw the destruction of the path is going to run to the ant nest, and all the ants coming to recover the path. Again, is the last ant that is on the path see that is a disruption on that path of thought, of path of walking or working, they're going to run to tell the ant's nest what happened. That is team building or what? Now, what animal are you? I'm a wolf. Everybody on the team is a wolf. Microexpression, the real signals, every emotion is a signal, not a secret, and not a way to discover lies. Deception detection cannot be discovered by body language and microexpressions. It's discovered for clusters. It's discovered by the words you use, not the body you use. There are many reasons. Body language is not international, and some people says the microexpression either. Unfortunately, in the last 2 weeks, we lost Paul Ekman. I have the pleasure and luxury to study with him in Manchester and study with his team in California in person, not on a computer, not online like a majority of the people. No, no, no. I travel, I pay my dues, I move my ass to do different places to study with him. And it's so sad. It's one of the few that we still have. We still have Matsumoto, that he is the one to discover about that we are born with insight about microexpression and emotions. But unfortunately, we lost Paul Ekman. Respect to the family. Obviously, they're not watching the show, but for everybody who want to know microexpression and the experiments he did on the 60s, Google it. It's many, many pages and interviews. Lately, he was really secluded, but he died, if I'm not wrong, 85, 86, and his daughter is not following his work. She decided to do something different. Matsumoto is the one who took the leadership, and he has done amazing things. Animals, keep it simple. Teachable moment. This is what Alba and I, we have teachable moments, and we decide to put it here. Wolf, clarity, trust, strong teams. Coyotes, adapt or fall behind. Hyenas, social intelligence wins. Chameleons, adjust to connect better. Elephants, empathy builds loyalty. Dragonfly, focus and drive results. You see how much we learn from animals today? Why this matter to you? Nature already mastered the social skills humans struggle with, and you can use them to lead, connect, and communicate better. I don't trust people who doesn't like animals. I don't trust people who do not like cats. You can be allergic, but unfortunately, a lot of people who have a bad experience with animals in their youth, they don't want to have animals when they're older, and they don't know what they're missing. Between going out and watching TV in my bed with my 6 cats, but guess what? So when somebody criticizes or tell me something because I have 6 cats and says, well, let me tell you, between having this stupid conversation and be playing with my cats, guess what I want? Playing with my cats. I know it's kind of aggressive, but instead to ask why. Why? Because all of them, they have behavioral problems, or they're supposed to have behavioral problems. You see the videos, you see the pictures. As soon as they pick them up, I pick them up, they jump in my shoulder, they're playing around. They're not in the carrier when I take it in the car with me. They go everywhere. If I have a trip that is at least 3 hours, I take them with me on the car, and I go to the hotel and says, can I have the room that is level to the floor, because I have 6 cats that come in with me. Sometimes when I need to fly, what I do is they don't allow you to have more than 1 cat. So I have an agent who allow me to at least travel with 2 of the cats, and I get a seat. When I used to have a dog, I used to get Homer his own seating on the plane. So what I learned from them, way more than you can expect it. None of them are related, my cats, and how they love each other. I have only 1 male, a Scotch. And let me tell you this, it's funny. When he was the ear checkout with the vet, all of them have a vet, an amazing vet. She live on the forest and treat big animals and small animals. I bring Scotch and says, okay, the biggest female, it's 10 pounds. This asshole is 22 pounds, it's only 1 year. I think that he maybe have diabetes or have a thyroid problem. And says, he's lazy. We did the studies and she was right, he's completely healthy. But guess what? The reason I don't like lions, he's so lazy because he have 5 females that go around him. They clean him, and even they clean his ass because he's not cleaning himself. In some way, he ended up clean. And we turned around, and one of the cats was cleaning him. So you can learn a lot about animals, learning and study animals. You want to learn more, you want to bring a different fun training your company, you want to do something different with your friends and learning something on the middle, let's have a zoo learning training. Zoo learning training is when we assign different animals to different people and we put it in groups together and how they behavior, how to mimic the behavior. We talk about animals and how to apply those things personally. So if you want to do the suit training, please let us know. We have a lot of fun when we do. This is the way to communicate with us. Tomorrow we're gonna talk about micro expression, the real sickness. Every emotion is a signal, not a secret. And I cannot believe that we are what 7, 8 days away, 9 days away for finish this challenge. And no, I'm not gonna do this during all year. You catch me one because I lost a bet and you're not gonna catch me again. Probably you're gonna see videos cut from this live. That's how the team says, I'm not recording any more videos, guy. You do see what you do with the material you have. But it's a pleasure. I really start enjoying it. But the consistency has been crazy because December and November are crazy months for us. But I enjoy a lot to be with you guys every lunch time at 12:15 Central Time. Tomorrow we're gonna talk about micro expression. We're gonna see if we can schedule Christina. She's in London, different time zone, and she is remodeling her house for Friday. We're gonna talk about hypnosis, but we're gonna let you know what we have Friday, and we have a surprise. If you have seen The Silence of the Lambs, you remember Clarice, the special agent Clarice. Well, it's based on a real person, a really badass lady. And I talked to her this week and says, okay, let's do it. Let's see if that is going to be the last show. I don't want to even tell her name because I don't know if we can pull it to make together. She's extremely busy, but it's extremely grateful to talk about it, do that possibility. Guys, tomorrow I see you with micro expressions. It's been a pleasure. Sorry I cannot see you. I like this when I have more interaction, but you guys are too shy to make questions. Bon voyage. Ta-da. See you tomorrow.